Today has been a day. I have a lot to talk about, but first we need to get in a fantasy football draft, and I already see that we have people out here asking us to hop in the Mastiff. Clearly, there are 1,000 different underdog tournaments at the moment. The Mastiff is the $1,000 entry. I promise you, I will do Mastiff drafts on this live stream the second that I get the ability. I have the $1,000 loaded up at our account. The issue is, we hop into a Mastiff draft right now. We still need 11 other people to join us. So I can tell you right now, there aren't 11 people in this live stream that are going to be willing to get in that $1,000 draft with us. So we're going to leave that, and instead we will hop into Best Ball Mania, the largest tournament on Underdog, because I know we can fill a draft room here. And $1.5 million prize pool, $15 million prize pool, $1.5 million for first place. And let's go ahead and let's get in here. The top 20 places are actually walking away with, I want to say, what? 100,000 minimum? Well, let's see. Igor coming out, trying to curse us with pick 9. It ain't happening. Here we are, numero dos. I actually just hopped in a $500 slow draft on Underdog, and there I got pick 2. And in that draft, I took CeeDee Lamb with the second pick. So, feeling good about it. We're about to be up on the clock in round 2. The guys that are going to be at the top of ADP for us will be Adams, Evans, Achane, Smith, Neighbors, Metcalf, Cup, DJ Moore. But I guess MJamie Sports out here pick 9. I'm sorry, my friend. Waffle Taco makes it in every single draft with us, in here at 6. Waffle Taco's in drafts with us even off the live stream. Stacy in at 3. Daniel in at 11. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out and hanging out with us in this draft. And yeah, I'm assuming we're going to get CeeDee Lamb at 2 when this starts. If not, we're going to get Christian McCaffrey, but nonetheless, we should be fine either way. But let's go ahead. Let's pull this up, and we'll see who we end up getting. It has been more of a common thing for teams that won to start going CeeDee Lamb than it was previously. Which, I mean, y'all have seen me do that some. I definitely need to make sure we're not super underweight Christian McCaffrey this season, because if we are super underweight CMC, I mean, we could just get completely wrecked this year and have no shot to win anything. Okay, but yeah, Lamb goes off the board at 1, so this will be a Christian McCaffrey team. We'll go ahead, we'll take CMC here at 1, and we'll see what makes it back around to us. I'm assuming that we are going to be able to go wide receiver at the 2-3 turn. And typically, y'all know I do like a lot of the running backs there in round 3. I mean, Kyren Williams right now is probably my favorite round 3 pick, which is someone that we can't take when we start with a running back in round 1. Because on Underdog, the wide receiver is going to run out so fast. We can't pick him up off the waiver wire. We can't trade for him. You have to have him. So I'll rather reach on him in rounds 2, 3, 4, 5 than have to reach on him in rounds 8, 9, 10, 11. Because there it's going to be really gross. Cade says, CMC, Barkley, Kyren loading. There's been one draft this year. I did this off the live stream. There's one draft this year where I've tried going 3 running backs out the gate. That draft was an eliminator. I would never try that on Best Ball Mania this season with how the draft board's currently set up. So yeah, I tried it in an eliminator to go, say, I don't remember the exact running back start. It was something like CMC, Barkley, Kyren. And I'm telling you right now, it was disgusting. The team, I pretty much lit $10 on fire and had no shot to do anything. One thing that I do want to talk about is the trend that I've noticed as of late, and that is Breece Hall actually falling in these drafts. Here, you see Breece Hall going off the board at 10. This isn't a super uncommon thing. And y'all know I am on record saying I would rather have Breece Hall over Bijan Robinson. Personally, I have Breece Hall in these Underdog drafts ranked as high as 7. And in your regular redraft league that's not best ball, I think you could even rank him higher. But now that we are seeing that Breece is falling to picks 9, 10, I think we probably need to cool it on Breece over Bijan, because we can still be overweight Breece Hall without having to take him at pick 7. If I just go through and say I'm going to take Breece Hall every chance I get at picks 8, 9, 10, I can still end up with close to 20% Breece. Right now, I'm at 13% Breece Hall. I have no idea if you're going to have a shot to see this. Yeah, the reflection's too bad. I'm at 13% Breece Hall and only 4% Bijan Robinson. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Parlay picks. Happy to see you, my friend. I think you're in the $500 draft with me, no? Let me first take Mike Evans, as we discussed. We're going to have to go wide receiver here at the 2-3 turn once we start off with Christian McCaffrey. We don't really have the flexibility to do anything else, but let me pull up that draft room. I think you're in the $500 draft. Parlay Pick says no. Where was I looking at your name previously? I literally was just looking at your name. Where would I recognize this name from, my friend? Were you leaving comments on the YouTube videos? What was going on here? Okay, no, in the $500 draft with me, there's someone named Parlay Pickler. So I'm sorry, my friend. Parlay Pickler, not Parlay Picks. So let me get you more information on that in just 1 second. But let me first make sure that we can go ahead and grab ourselves a wide receiver. I think the wide receiver that we're going to take, probably a lot of people are not going to agree with us on it. Personally, I'm not taking Malik Neighbors here at all. I think that there are going to be a lot of Devonta Smith teams at the 2-3 turn. I already have a ton of Smith. So trying to get a little unique here, I think we can go ahead, take Stephon Diggs, and just build the all old person team. We're going to sit here with Christian McCaffrey, Evans, and Diggs. But yeah, let me explain real quick how you can join a draft. Taking a step back, my friend, I know you pretty much already know this, but just make sure everybody does. If you want to draft with us on the live stream, every single day for years now, I've drafted on Underdog Fantasy. It's by far and away my favorite place to draft. It's best ball, so there's no time commitment at all during the season. It's how I draft hundreds of teams every year. It's how I won $150,000 on Underdog 2 years ago. And yeah, if you wanted to draft with us, you can find that link in the description, in the comment section, in the live chat. If you use code FLOCK when you sign up to Underdog Fantasy, you are going to get a 2024 fantasy football draft guide from yours truly. You can use that draft guide both for your regular fantasy football draft and for Underdog. You are going to get my 2024 fantasy football rankings, and you will get a 50% deposit bonus up to $250 on a new account. Plus, with that, Underdog is a site-wide special right now for the home run derby. Gunnar Henderson, less than half a total home run. It's a home run derby. I'll probably have one. And lastly, you do have to be in one of these states if you want to get in an Underdog draft. So you can see the map there. 90% of states have Underdog. Texas has it. California has it. Florida has it. New York has it. But you can see the map if you want to double check that. But essentially, as I go through to join one of these draft rooms, if we are going to do a public draft tournament, then you essentially just join the same time that I do. It doesn't guarantee that you get in that league. So if you are worried about, okay, Mason, I'm only going to have $10 to play on Underdog this year. I don't want to join a $10 draft with you, and then all of a sudden I didn't get in, now blah, blah, blah. You can wait. We're going to do a bunch of $3 drafts. We're going to do a bunch of $5 drafts. So I would maybe recommend waiting for them. Okay. Tiger Uppercut says, the older the berry, the sweeter the juice. I don't think that's how that phrase goes, but Luke Nasty says, the steady retirement home. I know it is. We are hosting a retirement home at this point. I agree. But here's what we're going to do. We are going to have Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs. These guys have experience under their belt. This isn't their first rodeo. They've been around the block. We are going to try to pair these guys up with some youngsters with actual athleticism later on. That way we can have a really solid foundation at a locker room level. We're drafting this team before training camp. So when we send them off to training camp, say we end up coming away with a couple rookies like Brian Thomas Jr., he's going to be learning from the best, okay? He's going to be learning from Mike Evans. He's going to be learning from Stephon Diggs. Say we come away with a running back like Trey Benson. he has potential, but he needs a veteran to show him the way. So if we put him in the same locker room as Christian McCaffrey, then all of a sudden, I don't even know what the limit is for this team, to be honest with you. Now, Andrews goes 46. So it's an awkward spot. We'll take Travis Etienne at 47. Etienne has been a steady follower. Once we go Etienne, it makes it where we are not allowed to take Josh Jacobs. We're for sure going to have to go wide receiver. We need at least 2 receivers over the next 3 rounds. So the question that we have to ask ourselves is, okay, at pick 50, our options are going to be essentially Patrick Mahomes, Dalton Kincaid, Terry McLaurin. I don't like Hollywood Brown. So would I rather have Terry McLaurin, and then going over to the 6-7 turn, our options are going to be like Ladd McConkey, Brian Thomas, Deontay Johnson, Christian Watson. And then if we did not want to go wide receiver, we could be looking at like Kenneth Walker, maybe George Kittle falls to us. So the question here is, would I rather have Patrick Mahomes and then Ladd McConkey, Brian Thomas? Or would I rather have Hollywood Brown as the best wide receiver and then Kenneth Walker? I'd probably take the elite level quarterback. You know what? This was a mistake. I'm going to let you know why this was. It's not a mistake yet, but it very easily could be a mistake. Okay. Let me talk about the scenario where this is a massive mistake. This is the Stephon Diggs team. CJ Stroud now has an ADP in the middle of the 6th round, and CJ Stroud in a lot of these drafts is falling to round 7. So if this is a league where CJ Stroud falls to us at the 6-7 turn, and we could have had that kind of value at quarterback, then there was no real reason for us to take Patrick Mahomes unstacked here at pick 50. Yes, I've won $150,000 in the past taking unstacked Patrick Mahomes. Yes, I love me some round 5 Patrick Mahomes, one of my second most drafted player 2 years ago, and Mahomes had an ADP in round 5. I want as much of Mahomes in round 5 as I can possibly get my hands on. But from a roster construction perspective, where we're behind at wide receiver, where we only have Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs, it probably doesn't make sense to take Mahomes where we do. Okay. Penix says, take them both. Very unique. Why not? The thing about taking them both, which I completely agree with you, I think that there are certain builds, specifically in Best Ball Mania, where you could go Patrick Mahomes round 5 and you could go CJ Stroud round 6. 2 years ago, when the elite level quarterbacks were at a very fair price point, I was doing this often. Like in almost every high stakes draft that I had, I was drafting Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray at the 5-6 turn. Hurts worked out, Kyler got hurt, but that's besides the point. I think that there are certain setups where you can go with 2 elite level quarterbacks. The issue is, this is not one of those setups. If we were to go with another quarterback, if say we were to take CJ Stroud at pick 71, if we take Stroud at 71, then all of a sudden we are through 6 rounds with only 2 receivers, and those 2 receivers are Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs. So we would just be so far behind that it would be almost impossible to catch up. So once we go Etienne Mahomes at the 4-5 turn, we put ourselves in a box where more likely than not, I am going to be forced to go wide receiver. Now, maybe I'll throw a fit if the question is, okay, are we going to take Jackson Smith-Njigba or CJ Stroud? If that is how bad the wide receivers are there, then maybe I only take one. If the wide receivers are absolutely disgusting, I'll take one. It will be gross. We'll be trying to dig ourselves out of a hole. But more likely than not, we have to take 2. Okay. Nate says Chiefs are going to have a top 3 offense this year. Right now, if you look at Vegas sportsbooks, they're projecting out the Niners at 1, the Lions at 2, and the Chiefs at 3 if you were just looking at raw points scored. Okay, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, both off the board. Obviously, those two guys would have made a ton of sense for us if they would have made it. We had Mahomes. You always hope that you get Worthy falling. You hope that you get Rice falling. It didn't happen in this one. So instead, we're actually going to take Brian Thomas. We're going to take Brian Thomas, pair him up with Travis Etienne, and then we're going to target Trevor Lawrence a little later on. But, I mean, Brian Thomas, round 1 wide receiver. I think he was a phenomenal prospect. Goes to a team that I believe has above average quarterback play. We need another wide receiver, particularly one with a lot of upside and spike week potential. I think Brian Thomas gives us that. And he also gives that potential double stack a little later on. Okay. Kenneth Walker goes 72. I love the price point of Walker. It's just very difficult for us to take him, particularly with our team. JSN off the board as well. I think we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Ladd here. And, hey, we are right on track of what we were talking about previously. We're going to spin this training camp. We are to spin this offseason with Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs, teaching Brian Thomas and Ladd McConkey how to play at the NFL level. We got it. This is exactly what you want from a locker room chemistry standpoint. We have Mike Evans, in my mind, future Hall of Fame wide receiver, pretty damn close. We have Stephon Diggs, borderline Diva Hall of Fame, not NFL Hall of Fame, but maybe he can teach Ladd to go down that road. But, yes, Mahomes throwing to Brian Thomas. It doesn't get better. But let me let you in on maybe I seem upset here. Let me tell you what I've been doing over the past few days. I have my little to-do list. I got to rant to someone. The girlfriend's tired of hearing me be a pissy boy around the house as of late. And I have to ask y'all some questions. A bunch of crap that we have to do on this to-do list. The one thing that has been more frustrating than you could ever imagine is when we got back from France. Keep in mind, I'm a relatively new homeowner. I don't know how to manage crap. I'm incompetent. But when we got back from France, the thermostat was completely broken. And our house does have like a little bit of a fancy thermostat where it's not... the AC people were trying to charge me like $1,200 to get it fixed. Called the thermostat company. They said it was 2 weeks out of warranty. Looked it up all over online. Everyone is saying, oh, what a coincidence. My thermostat broke 5 years and 2 weeks. And it's a 5-year warranty that they give everybody. So it seems like they have something programmed in to break these thermostats so they can charge you $1,100 to get it fixed. But anyway, I got on the phone with the thermostat company, finagled my way into them extending our warranty and saying that it's covered. But then them telling us that we had to coordinate with the people who installed it and get them. And every single day over the past probably 10 days, I've called the thermostat company. Then I've called the installation company and said, hey, have y'all talked to each other? Hey, when is this getting done? And both of them have said, no, I can't reach the other person. No, their numbers don't work. When I can call them every single day. So I'm sure that these people are lying to me. I think that they don't want to wait around for 5 minutes in the waiting room. So I've been having to deal with this every day for 10 days. Plus, my freaking tire was flat. Had to go get a new tire. The wheel lock I didn't have. So, whole ordeal. Today, I finally figured out the thermostat thing. It's been so damn frustrating. But the dryer breaks like a week ago. I'm doing a bunch of YouTube research. I'm convinced I'm going to fix this dryer. I spend the past week taking the dryer apart, thinking that I just need to change the thermal fuse. I finally get the thermal fuse off. I finally order the correct thermal fuse. Everything's set. About an hour ago, I put the dryer all back together. My proudest moment ever. I just took apart and fixed a full-blown dryer. I can't wait to go around and tell my entire family. And then we took DeAndre Swift to pick 95. But then after that, you press start, nothing happens. Then I realized, oh, it's not the thermal fuse. It's the pulley system in the belt that spins the thing on why the dryer won't start. So now I should probably just throw in the towel. I should probably just call a maintenance person. But instead, my pride's not going to let me do it. And I'm going to fix this thing. And we're going to take Tyler Lockett here at 98. When we're behind a wide receiver, I just want to get wide receiver targets where we can. I think Tyler Lockett gives us that steady influx of wide receiver volume. And at the same time, perfect chemistry. Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans, Tyler Lockett. They can sit around. They can rub icy hot on each other. They can talk about how life was great in the 1970s. And yeah, hopefully they can score some fantasy points. But okay, this is exactly how I'm feeling. I told my God, I thought I was going to be the freaking man. I thought I was going to walk in the house, tell my girlfriend, fix the dryer. Got it done. I've been literally walking around going, ooh, when I fix this dryer, I'm going to be able to say I can do everything. And I haven't been able to do it. So, yes. I've been trying my best. But here, this is the question that I had to ask y'all. Hypothetically, if I do eventually have to throw in the towel and call the repair guy, how do you find a good appliance maintenance person without it costing $1 zillion? Because it seems like every time I have to call to get something fixed in the house, it costs an ungodly amount of money. But I may or may not be wearing a swimsuit right now because we have no laundry and we haven't been able to wash clothes in 10 days. The Water Bear says word of mouth, usually from my experience. Jay Melly, local Facebook page. I have not tried Facebook. Usually I just Google it. But Matthew says you asked ChatGPT. Nate says, go to the local washer and dryer store and tell your maintenance person you'll pay him cash. Ooh, this is a good idea, my guy. This is a good idea. Okay. Honestly, I like this idea the most. I'm going to walk around the laundromat and go, hey, you know how to fix it? I see that you're here because you don't have a washer or a dryer. Do you know how to fix one? I got cash. Okay. But now on the way back around, probably the target for this team where we have Brian Thomas as well as Travis Etienne, we're most likely going to look to go ahead and take Trevor Lawrence. What could be interesting is what happens if Jaden Daniels makes it to us at 119. Clearly, this is a team where we don't have any Washington options. We don't have any Commanders. But what we would have is Jaden Daniels 19 picks past ADP. This team, LOL Hot Dogs, takes Lawrence. Not going to blame them. They had Kirk. They had Evan Ingram. So I'm sorry, T. Dobbs, if somehow you're in the chat right now. I know you have Terry McLaurin. I'd imagine that you're probably wanting Jaden Daniels, 20 picks past ADP. But I don't think I can give it to you, especially once I was sniped on Lawrence, especially with me not knowing if we're going to eventually get Justin Herbert on the way back around. So we will take Jaden Daniels at 119. With Jaden Daniels, we can target Jahan Dotson later. We can target, there are a couple different players that we can target. We can target Eckler later, Dotson later, Ben Sinnott later, Luke McCaffrey later. So it's not like we have zero options there. And now I think I'm going to go ahead and take Jacoby Myers over A.D. Mitchell. I don't think A.D. Mitchell would have a lot in common with Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans. I don't know how their locker room combos are happening. I don't know how the team dinners would be. I don't know how the wide receiver film room would be. Just A.D. Mitchell doesn't seem like a good fit for this squad. Jacoby Myers, I think, can be, though. Okay. Boa, appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. Antler Eye says, hey, breaking the rules, repeat question. Where do we send the hotel receipt for the meetup? Hell yes, my friend. If you actually booked hotel, easiest two different ways. If you're in the Discord, shoot me a message, Flock Fantasy. I will save you a ticket for sure. Second thing is, if you're not on Discord, completely understand. Email me, mason.dodd@flockfantasy.com. mason.dodd@flockfantasy.com. DODD. That's how you spell Dodd. But speaking of the meetup, do want to remind everybody, August 21st, Austin, Texas. Let me double check. I'm sorry, August 22nd, Austin, Texas. Location to be announced. The venue that we're looking like we may go with can hold 66 people. All the company people I'll have there attached to flockfantasy.com, plus the extra fantasy YouTubers that will be there, will probably account for like 16 of those people. So we'll probably have like 50 open spots for the people who want to come to the meetup. So one, looks like Antler Eyes got himself the first spot. How we're going to do it is I just need to make sure that you're coming if we're going to reserve one of those spots for you. So if you send me a hotel receipt or anything of the sort saying, hey, I'm going to be there, I'll put your name down, save you a spot right now. And then two, if you're in the area, you're going to drive and you go, Mason, I'm not going to be able to RSVP in with a hotel receipt. Then we're going to be selling tickets for like 10, 15 bucks just so we know you're going to come. So I will get the ticket links out relatively soon whenever we have them set up. But if you want to claim your spot and you're coming from out of town, best way to do so is just shoot me a hotel receipt and I will put you down right this second. And then the draft that we are going to do is going to be, I don't know if we're going to do the live draft at the meetup or if we are going to do the live drafts with myself and all the members of flockfantasy.com. We're going to do like a really big fantasy football league, super high stakes. We're going to make an entire YouTube channel around it from myself and a bunch of other fantasy football creators. And if you want to follow along there, we just set up a new YouTube channel, and I can send that link in the live chat for y'all right now if you're wanting. Reed says, I'm a new Braunfels, so I'll be there. Hate I missed the last one in January, but I proposed to my girlfriend instead. I'm happy you now have your priorities in order, my friend. Missing a flock meetup for a silly old proposal. Are you kidding me, my guy? Breaking my heart over here. Breaking my heart. Okay. But, oh yeah, and the other news is I got the league details of what we're wanting over to my guy at Underdog, and I haven't got confirmation, but I think the Flock Underdog tournament should be happening soon. Let's see what this team does. Hopefully they don't snipe me. They take Darnell Mooney. Heck yes, we get Jahan Dotson. We get Dotson 8 picks past ADP to stack with Daniels 19 picks past ADP. Immaculate. Could not be happier. And we have 7 wide receivers. We have Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs, Brian Thomas, Ladd McConkey, Tyler Lockett, Jacoby Myers, Jahan Dotson. I think we've kind of caught back up at wide receiver. I think we can go ahead and start looking at some of these other positions. I think Chandler, Kmet, both in play for us. I'm going to go ahead. I'll take Kmet. Here, we are already kind of in on the Chicago offense with DeAndre Swift. Might as well start building out this tight end room. I mean, Kmet's actually been very good from a target share perspective over the past few years in Chicago. Obviously, the issue is the passing offense has just been a train wreck Now the offense should be better, but now the target share should go down with the much better weapons here. And, oh, okay. Wrong link, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. Link doesn't work for a podcast. That link is, I'm hiring a videographer for a bunch of stuff the week where all the fantasy football YouTubers come down. And I sent that as an example to the videographer saying, hey, we want videos made in like a podcast style format. So that was like a viral podcast at the time. But let's go. Flock League. Here's the correct link. Okay, I'm sorry. Here's the correct link for the YouTube channel. That's embarrassing. Okay. Yeah, bad link. Derek, I am happy to see you, my guy. Took Mahomes here for you, and I hope to see you at the meetup. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great start to the 2024 year, my friend. I guess a little more than a start. We're a little over halfway through 2024, but hope you're doing great, my friend. Finn says, Theo Johnson to the freaking moon. Is Theo Johnson talked about on Hard Knocks or something? Maybe we got to start getting some Theo Johnson bags in before the Hard Knocks hype hits. So I just did the research for how running backs can produce in fantasy in horrible offenses and how wide receivers can produce in fantasy in horrible offenses. I think we probably need to do the same thing for tight end and see what the expectations should be for Theo Johnson. Happy to see you, Jeep guy. I love the new profile pic. I don't know if I've had a chance to tell you that. Okay, Steve says, what's the buy-in for the super high stakes one, open to the public or no? I don't even know if we're going to have a buy-in, or more so going to have it set up like the league where there are punishments year-round maybe for the team that gets last place in the league, and the team who gets first place can be treated like a king. So it's going to be super high stakes. That YouTube channel link that I sent in the chat, we're going to cover everything about the league there. So we're going to do stuff like we're going to probably have maybe something like a pickleball tournament to determine draft order. We'll probably have like a weekly recap of the matchups in the league, what happened when trades are made in that league. We'll probably get all the YouTubers that are in the league to go through and give like a 20, 30-second reaction to it. It's probably not going to be a lot of fantasy football analysis. It's more so just going to be like fun stuff, the stuff that it would be typical of like a league that you're in with your buddies. But happy birthday, Teresa. Can everybody spam the chat? Happy birthday, Teresa. OG member of the flock. It's been out here forever. The final decision on the flock tournament, I will let y'all know what I sent the Underdog people. I'll read that email in 1 second, but let me pull up our options real quick for this next pick. Okay, so obviously we're not taking quarterback anymore. We have Mahomes, we have Daniels. We only need 2 of these guys. We can go ahead. We can take Ray Davis. I haven't drafted a lot of Davis. I know some people are excited about his potential red zone role in a very good offense where James Cook hasn't been an effective red zone running back in the past. But also Josh Allen's kind of a red zone running back in his own right. Isaiah Likely 168. And we're going to swing Noah Fant here. We have Tyler Lockett as well. Maybe with the Noah Fant pick, we say, oh, okay, people are right. This offense has a lot more passing volume to go around with no Pete Carroll than it did previously. Maybe they really opened it up. Maybe DK Metcalf gets hurt, and that bumps the target share up for both Noah Fant and Tyler Lockett. But we'll see. TGL says, do you plan on eventually doing any of the high-stakes underdog drafts live this year? So I'm currently in a $500 underdog draft, but that's a slow draft. Trust me, I would rather only do them on the live streams. I don't like slow drafts. But the issue is right now in the high stakes underdog draft lobbies, and we did it at the very beginning of this live stream. If I enter in the $1,000 draft room, there are 11 open spots. So it doesn't look like I can fill. I can't fill 11 spots for a $1,000 draft. And the $500 draft's the same way. Maybe when it gets closer to the season, we can hopefully get a few more. We can get a few live high stakes drafts going. If they're happening, I'll be in them. I'll tell you that much. But worst case scenario, we do the slow drafts and I make videos for them. The meetup's August 22nd. That is a Thursday. Frank says gross fan pick. I've talked about this before, but if you look at the advanced analytics for Noah Fant over the past 2 years, Noah Fant does look gross. And I completely agree with you. The one thing that has kind of kept me on Noah Fant just a bit, where I haven't been able to come out and say, okay, do not draft Noah Fant under any circumstance, is the Noah Fant contract. Noah Fant signs the $21 million deal. It's not important as the guaranteed money, of course. With the guaranteed money, he gets $11.5 million guaranteed. Let's go through and let's compare this to some other guys. Obviously, very different positions. Completely understand this. But Joe Mixon in Houston gets $16 million guaranteed. We go ahead, look at Derrick Henry in Baltimore. Derrick Henry gets $9 million guaranteed. It's like Noah Fant this offseason. I completely understand different positions, different positional value. But Noah Fant gets paid a better contract than Derrick Henry. TGL says, I did a 500 slow draft earlier this season. Definitely takes a while. I'd definitely be down to enter with the flock. Appreciate you, my friend. I'm sure you just want our $500 in the pot, but nonetheless, I will promise you, if we can fill them, we'll get them going. I really have not taken like any Luke McCaffrey this year. The only reason we would take him here is to get the double stack with Jaden Daniels. I almost want someone else to take him, so I don't even have to. Nobody does, so I think we kind of have to take Luke McCaffrey as our 8th receiver. So we have the Jahan Dotson, Luke McCaffrey, Jaden Daniels double stack. We're going to go with one running back, one tight ends. Maybe we take Clyde Edwards-Helaire and pretend that somehow, some way he correlates with Patrick Mahomes. So we may do that. We'll see. Speaking of locker room chemistry, that's what it is. Frank pointing it out. We get to pair up Christian McCaffrey with Luke McCaffrey. The chemistry off the charts. We're going to go ahead. We will take Clyde Edwards-Helaire and we'll pretend that it matters because we have Mahomes. We'll pretend. We'll pretend. Now, Teresa says, first, Teresa flexing on us. New profile pic with the firefighter outfit. Love to see it. Says, you think Ingram over Ladd was a better choice? I think potentially. The issue is we go Ingram over Ladd. We're sitting here with 3 Jags, and if we whiff on Lawrence later on, which we wouldn't have had the shot to take Lawrence, it would have been very tough. And when we were in that spot where we go Ladd there, it just feels like we're so far behind at wide receiver that we just kind of have to spam wide receivers in the middle rounds because some drafts will just completely get away from you, and we won't have a shot to catch up. Teresa, I know you are a firefighter. I know. Just in case anybody else doesn't. Okay. Nick says, Mason, I appreciate how honest you are with your picks, drafts. See a lot of creators that talk like they never draft a bad player or a bad team. Well, my friend, when you draft as many bad teams as I do, you can't pretend that you don't draft them. I mean, it would be a tall tale if I came out and told y'all, ooh, yet another perfect draft by yours truly. I don't know how I do it. I don't know how I manage. I don't know why God gave so much talent to one individual. But this is my 642nd perfect draft in a row. Bring me my check now. I would love to come out here and somehow pretend that. But I'm not going to reach for some meaningless Mahomes stack. Like I said, I've taken down tournaments before with the naked Mahomes. Mahomes is one of the very few guys that you can see spread the ball around to 11, 12 skill positional guys any given week. Obviously not ideal to have a naked Mahomes. When we take Mahomes there, really hoping that we get either Rice or Worthy making it back to us in round 6. When it doesn't happen, it's awkward. But I'm not going to break our construction just so we can have some meaningless Chiefs wide receiver, where instead I think this team really needs a third tight end where we're only sitting with Komet and Noah Fant. Okay. And yes, I believe this is our last pick. I don't know how many likes we have, but let me check. It looks like we may not hit 300 likes in the stream. So not going to lie, I'm fine with this being a one stream kind of day. I was laying in the garage trying to fix the dryer. I am absolutely disgusting. Probably need to go hop in the shower. But we are going to take Jawan Johnson. I was watching the Hayden Winks live stream earlier, and he was talking about Jawan being back by week 1. Obviously, if Jawan Johnson is actually back by week 1, he's an absolute smash of a pick. And what's nice about him now is he's not getting drafted in every underdog draft. So you have a little bit of unique combo. But I think that should be it. Of course, appreciate you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And let me show you all this real quick because we got a new addition to the studio. And if I scoot this chair back and you see that I'm wearing a swimsuit, like I said, the dryer's broken. We got a swimsuit on. New addition to the studio. Ordered this frame from the Iron Man. See how it looks. Yeah, you can definitely see the reflection, but have the course map on there. The bike map, the swim and run map are super tiny, so you can't really see it. Got the bib, got the medal, got the fan pick. Excited about it. But thank you again. Really appreciate you. Really hope you have a great day. And really hope I get to draft with you sometime soon.